Hello! Welcome back to Too Many Books. My name is Sean, and today we have a Suntup Editions unboxing. A big one. Like, seriously, this thing is huge. This, my friends, is the numbered edition of Swan Song by Robert McCammon. Housed as a 2-volume book in this very, very nice tray case. Woo! It's a beauty. Starting things off, we have a little note here saying, for added protection during shipment, each book has been placed in a poly bag. The book should be removed when shelving, but may be reused should you need to ship it again. How about that? We also have two, not one, but two of the bookmarks. And it's 2 volumes, so you might as well have 2 bookmarks, right? Both featuring the artwork of Ed Binkley. Curiously enough, you see Swan Song has sort of a different logo, different typography on both of them. One being reminiscent of the apocalyptic hell you're living in, and then one without the branch in it. So we have a nice little tray case here, very reminiscent of the numbered edition of oh my God, American Gods. Let's dive in. Let's get this tray case out of the way. Very similar to American Gods in terms of being, a 2-volume book. This is not letterpress printed. American Gods was. American Gods fully bound in leather. This quarter bound in leather. So there are some differences. This is not as fancy as American Gods, but it is still fancy in its own right. We have 2 volumes. Wow, these spines are soft. Quarter bound in leather from a tannery in France. But this is that is soft. 1 and 2. I gotta say, I think in the design, in the mock-ups, it used Roman numerals as opposed to Arabic numerals. I gotta say, I do kind of prefer the Roman numerals, but it is what it is. Swan Song, using cloth for the remainder of the covers. Is that cloth? This is a texture to it. I like it. Swan Song is the absolutely massive post-apocalyptic novel that Robert McCammon published way back in the 80s. This is not the first limited edition. That would be the Dark Harvest edition. The paper that's printed on, is this from the Journal of Burl Oberly. So Swan, as I say, I don't remember this being an introduction, because it's not. It's an introduction by Robert McCammon, written in 2023. Okay, so it's a new introduction by Robert McCammon. The paper this is on is Mohawk Via Lade, if I am correct on that. So it's the same paper used in the lettered edition. So significantly cheaper than the lettered edition, you have this numbered edition, which is the edition for me. I mean, I'm sure the lettered edition is spectacular. It is fully bound in leather. I'm sure is a sight to behold. Probably even nicer than, the numbered American Gods. But that's kind of the vibe it gives me, is the numbered American Gods, the full bound in leather. It's not letterpress printed. They're all offset printed, but that's fine. I mean, being a large novel like this, it would save costs, keep the price down as much as they can to offset print it. But even having just a nicer upgraded paper, I guess it depends on how you view it. Are you viewing the numbered edition as having upgraded paper, or the lettered edition as having downgraded paper? I'm going to view the numbered edition as having upgraded paper, and I am all for it. But if you are not familiar with Swan Song, it is McCammon's post-apocalyptic novel. Think your Cold War, everybody's got their thumbs on the buttons, waiting for the launch of the nukes. Well, this is the novel of what happens when those nukes get launched. And it really throws the world into a nuclear holocaust, a nuclear winter. You're no longer seeing the sun. And this follows a cast of characters, from Sister Creep to Joshua, formerly known as Black Frankenstein, to the titular Swan, who is there with Joshua as they make their way through these lands. Book 1. Volume 2, Volume 1, Book 1. Volume 2. Oh, okay, I see. The contents, I'm like, wait a minute. Like, is this a typo? It's not a typo. The contents, table contents, is just identical from both volumes. They're going to start this volume on page 467. Which probably makes sense, because there was a classic edition as well, which is a single volume. Still with Ed Binkley's artwork, still with the great typography throughout, the story throughout, but all in one single volume. Much more affordable than the numbered edition, and significantly more affordable than the lettered edition. I actually reread this novel last year. Last year. And I did a full book review on this channel here. So I'll put a link in the description below if you want to check that out. In my book review for that, I actually showcased some of the other editions that I owned of this, including the Subterranean Press edition, the numbered edition of that, which was one large but oversized volume, as well as the Dark Harvest editions, both the numbered and the lettered edition from Dark Harvest, which are both singular volumes as well. I mean, those are probably one of the rarer versions to find of this. Even the trade edition from Dark Harvest fetches a pretty penny on the secondary market. But I'm not a huge fan of those editions just for the fact that the font, the typeset, is really tiny in order to get them down to the size that it is. Here is the Classic Edition dust jacket. So if you buy the Classic Edition, it's one volume, you get this dust jacket to cover it up. So anyways, this is limited to this edition right here, excluding the Classic Edition. It's limited to 276 copies, 250 numbered copies, 26 lettered. All are signed by McCammon and Ed Binkley. As I mentioned, the Classic Edition is signed by both of them as well. So this is a remarkable story. I know some people unjustly compare it to The Stand by Stephen King. And yeah, there are some parallels. But really, they are wholly different novels. I believe this won McCammon the Stoker back in the day. One of his Stokers. I'm pretty sure this one. Was this the one that tied with Misery? It might be. I know one year Stephen King's Misery was tied. And it might have been with Swan Song here. But it is one hell of a story to read. This is obviously a disgustingly fancy edition, if you want a fancy edition of this novel. This might be the best edition that I've owned. I mean, I've compared this to Subterranean Press, comparing this to Dark Harvest, just because this has nicer paper. Having the two volumes is just exquisite. I think I prefer Ed Binkley's artwork over David Ho's artwork. I love David Ho as an artist. I mean, don't get me wrong, David Ho is an exceptional artist. And I guess his dark artwork really does encapsulate kind of the nuclear winter of Swan Song. I mean, Ed Binkley, especially with the second volume here, you're going to see, not that there's a whole lot of daylight shining through, but it's not as bleak as David Ho's artwork is. But I don't know. I think I kind of like Ed Binkley's artwork overall better. But anyway, Swan Song by Robert McCammon, hell of a novel worth reading. Check out my book review, book comparison that I did last year. I unfortunately don't have those editions anymore. Otherwise, I would compare them for you here. But I kind of made a bet to myself saying, you know what? I think this edition right here, this Suntup edition, is going to be the fancy edition, the be-all, end-all edition. And so I put my stock into this one. And I'm happy I did. This is quite a nice edition. This is going to be the prized one for me. But anyways, check out Swan Song by Robert McCammon. Hell of a story to read in one of the many billion editions that are out there, whether it be a fancy signed edition, whether it be just a regular trade edition, what have you. It is a widely available novel, worth your time. The Suntup edition, you have to find the secondary market because all three editions, the classic, the numbered, and lettered, are fully sold out. But definitely worth checking out if you can. Anyways, thank you very much for watching. Please consider subscribing to the channel here. I do at least one book review a week with plenty of unboxing videos, much like this one in between here and there. And check out Suntup Editions, and we'll see you around next time.